Coming up on Agweek TV, we'll check on the benefits of using cover crops. Cattle prices take a big dip. We'll see how that's affecting sales. And new research shows how crop diversity leads to higher yields and lower costs. Welcome to Agweek TV. I'm Shawna Olson. No-till farms are few and far between in eastern North Dakota, but some experts say it can increase profits and improve soil health. One family operation has decided to go all in. We caught up with them as they hosted a tour of their land to show others what they're doing.
Well, a lot of our fields, this is year one. I think we have a couple spots that'll be year 3.
I would like to set up the no-till drill.
Doug Toussaint and his 2 sons, Nick and Brad, have turned their entire operation into no-till in a short amount of time.
There's not a textbook to read to know what's going on here, but there's a big learning curve, and to go into it with a good attitude and you think it's going to work and make some decisions and make it work.
We went to a lot of these no-till things for a while, these meetings and whatnot, and I thought those guys were crazy, you know, and I just said, well, they don't have the kind of soil we have. And then we went and toured some of these other farms that do have the kind of soil we have.
We will see a suppression of broadleaf weeds.
So with lots of studying and background knowledge, they decided to take the plunge.
This year we really dove in.
A cover crop growing against water hemp.
The Toussaints say their agronomist Greg LaPlante and Extension Soil Health Specialist Agweek from NDSU have helped them along the way.
Got started with the no-till more from the fact of wanting to do the cover crops, and the no-till kind of fell into it. They kind of tied together.
They farm near Wahpeton, North Dakota, where all the fields around them are black this time of year. Theirs are now green and catching the eyes of their neighbors.
They think we're crazy. I think they're watching pretty close, kind of waiting to point the finger and say, I told you so. I don't know, I think we give it 5 years and see what happens.
We did hit this with a harrow.
One field in particular,
after harvest,
really stands out.
just to get an even trash spread.
We had wheat planted here this spring, and after harvest we followed it with a heavy drag to get all the volunteer wheat germinated. And then we sprayed with a broadleaf, and then we came behind that with 40 pounds of rye per acre, and then we have cover crop test strips throughout the whole field.
You can still see how kind of fluffy that soil is on there.
It's part of a study done with Agweek.
The first mix, we chose a really basic mix of cereal rye with radish and turnip. That was kind of the mix that guys read about in the farming magazines, or the ones that they'd maybe be most comfortable doing. And then to that mix we added forage pea and also crimson clover to that base mix. And then on top of that, our third mix, we added a couple more species of the sorghum Sudan grass and the dwarf Essex rapeseed. The main thing we're looking to do with the radish and turnip is to try to punch large holes in the soil to get some better drainage, because we know in the valley the drainage is an issue. But we also, by adding in the crimson clover and then also the forage pea, we're building nitrogen as well. And so whatever that field goes into next year, we might see a nitrogen response in the crop.
Yeah, I am going to use some toussaints, but I'm going to store it.
Toussaints aren't sure which crop they'll plant here next spring. They say most likely a row crop. They say it depends on what contracts they can work up.
You're going to slice through this.
Doug Toussaint also says he's already finding this practice is going to save on the pocketbook.
Less nitrogen, fewer passes, less diesel fuel. My labor is down. My depreciation sheet can change. You know, I got 2 chisel plows, and I got a big disc, and I got two diggers, and I got a subsoiler. All of it is kind of going in cobwebs right now. So if it works out, I switch to something that I can use a little more, a little better no-till drill, but one piece of equipment versus 4 or 5.
Wick says beginning no-till practices and cover cropping takes a different mindset.
You have to think about the thought process behind it. You have to develop that thought process to succeed. You can't just follow a recipe or step-by-step thing. You have to have the thought process.
I wish I could have been rolling at this 20 years ago.
If you want more information on no-till and cover crops, you can contact Agweek at NDSU or your local extension office. Some farmers who operate in more than one county will get more accurate payments from a new federal farm program. The USDA has agreed to recalculate ARC payments to reflect what's owed producers in the counties where they farm. Previously, payments were based on the single county used by a producer for administrative purposes. The ARC was created by the 2014 Farm Bill. It gives farmers a payment when their revenues fall, which is happening now because of low crop prices. Payments are based on average county yields, which can vary greatly. North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp says corn growers told her about this hitch a couple of weeks ago, and she's pleased with the USDA's quick action to fix it.
It's really important in that first year that we pay attention and that we not have, if we do have problems, that we get out ahead of them, because the Farm Bill is going to make sure that it's administered correctly.
Senator Heitkamp says it's hard to know how many farmers are affected. If you need to file for an adjustment, you can do it at your local FSA office by February. It's been a good year for the American Crystal Sugar Company. That's the message the company's president and CEO has been spreading to growers this week at a series of factory district meetings. David Berg says the first projections of beet payments for this year's crop is $45 per ton. That would be higher than last year's final payment of $44 a ton. At the meetings, Berg told growers there is a long list of things that are going well for the company. Topping the list is the recent ban on cheap sugar imports from Mexico.
Between the Mexico trade case, the absolutely wonderful crops that we just harvested, and the factories are running well, aided by 1,500 extremely competent and smart and hardworking employees, and the sugar market is acting the way we like. I mean, there's a lot of things happening right at American Crystal right now.
One concern Berg noted is pressure coming from consumers and manufacturers about GMO beets. He says Hershey's, which buys sugar from Crystal, is going GMO-free on its most popular chocolates by January 1st. Up next on AgweekTV, the cattle markets have taken some big swings lately, but what's bad news for some can be good news for others.
How did we become the region's largest independent seed company? By taking a very simple but powerful stand. We will sell no seed that we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm. Peterson Farm Seed. Stand tall.
A lot can change in 75 years. But at Home of Economy, we'll always believe holidays are a time best spent with family. Bob and Jean Keesaw knew this when they founded our company back in 1939. And so today, the tradition continues. That with grateful hearts, we close our doors Thanksgiving Day, so our entire staff may celebrate this honored American holiday with those they love. We'll reopen at 8 a.m. Friday with great specials and, as always, our guaranteed lowest price. Until then, happy Thanksgiving.
My name is Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called a corn stalk guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
Who do you call when you have grain dryer issues? His number is probably already on your phone. Guy Kittleson of American Farm Equipment, 701-793-8804. With over 35 years experience in grain dryer sales, Guy was grain dryers before grain dryers were cool. He sells and services American, Chief, and Deluxe grain dryers with capacities from 200 to 10,000 bushels per hour. Guy works on them all, but when it comes to confidence and dependability in your grain dryer, buy from Guy. Guy Kittleson, American Farm Equipment.
Drainage Solutions is experienced in the tri-state area. Their skilled employees will design, implement, and maintain the best drainage system available. Drainage Solutions uses state-of-the-art equipment along with the best data resources available to design a drainage system that they guarantee will be both efficient and cost-effective. Whether you're considering drain tile for the first time or adding to your existing drainage system, let Drainage Solutions design the most appropriate site-specific drainage for your needs.
Cattle prices have been coming down for the past few months after hitting record highs last year. We headed out to Central Livestock in West Fargo for the weekly sale. Rose Dunn joins us now with the latest.
Shawna, a year ago, livestock producers were enjoying high prices because of low supply. But now, although the number of cattle is still down across the nation, so is the price.
You wouldn't think they'd have to get hit this hard, this fast.
Auctioneer Tony Heinze is just starting his 51st year at Central Livestock in West Fargo. He says the cattle market is making big swings, especially lately.
What you got last year, figure about $400 to $500 per head less this year. But last year they were $400 to $500 higher than the year before. So we're back to about 2013 prices. The cow market, same way, we had $1.20 cows there for a long time. Today, $90 was top cows, and boy, it takes a good cow. There's a lot of $70 and the $70 type cows.
Arnie Woodbury raises Simmental cattle near Winemere. He came to see how the cattle are selling.
But last year was record high, so we sort of expected this. We don't like it, but we expected it.
But these low prices aren't bad for everyone. Some are hoping to capitalize on them.
I guess it's kind of a good time to buy, but not a great time to sell, obviously. So, I mean, I've been kind of looking to see if I could get a few smaller ones, for the winter, and then sort of getting them a little bit bigger.
Robert Hensel is up from Illinois, and he says one place the prices are not reflected is at the grocery store.
I pointed to him the fact that cattle have dropped $30 to $40 a hundred in prices, and that meat market, some of the cuts have went up. It's unreal. Well, they haven't, reflected the way the market is. It's the consumer that's getting took, and the big businesses are raking in the money.
Heinze has some advice for those planning to sell their calves.
I think they should be weaning them and make sure they get their shots. Give them those in shots. It's very important. And wean them for at least a month before you sell them. And you're going to gain some weight. And I think you're going to gain some in price. Because there are feedlots that will not buy them unless they have their shots and are weaned. So that's a big thing.
Next week, we'll talk with market specialists to try to find out when and if we'll see a turnaround in prices.
All right, thanks, Rose. A well-known ag voice in the upper Midwest has received a big honor. Mike Hergert, director of the Red River Farm Network, was inducted into the National Farm Broadcasters Hall of Fame this week. It's a prestigious group. The Hall's website describes its members as powerful advocates in agriculture. Hergert co-founded the Red River Farm Network in 1995. He was the National Farm Broadcaster of the Year in 2007 and past president of the National Association of Farm Broadcasters. He can be heard on 19 radio stations in the tri-state area.
The greatest thing about this job is the people I've met. The people in agriculture are the best, bar none. They will do anything for you, just the salt of the earth. The other thing that keeps me going as far as a farm broadcaster is being able to make a difference in people's bottom line.
Hergert is 65 and plans to retire next year, but he hopes to continue with some part-time work after that. And a big congrats to him, a great guy. Is fall finally coming to an end? Your agri-weather forecast is next. And later, how to save money and increase yields, some surprising benefits of changing up your crops.
As a manufacturer, if you don't actually farm, there's so many places where you go wrong if you really don't have a true gut feeling for the end result. From the seed placement, fertilizer placement, packing, weigh scales, variable rates, everything that we have is put there to make you more money. At the end of the day, we guarantee that with Super Seed Guarantee.
Tightline Drainage is the Red River Valley's most trusted name for tile. Tightline uses the Port Hydromax plow and also Port Hydromax trenchers for installing our laterals and main line accurately. The science behind drain tile proves healthier plant growth and greater yields. Tightline Drainage also sells pipes, fittings, tiling plows, landau tillage equipment, and more. Tightline Drainage is owned and operated by experienced agricultural professionals who understand the need for progressive agricultural practices. Call Tightline Drainage for a free drainage design today at 701-235-1900.
It's 3 windows in one. It's the Euro Series by Minn Kota Windows. It's a picture window. One turn of the handle and the unit tilts in for ventilation. A second turn swings the sash inward. Easy to clean from the interior and available as a window and patio door. Durable hardware allows for larger single units and tremendous safety. And of course, it's covered by the industry's best warranty. The Euro Series by Minn Kota Windows. Midwest built, Midwest tough, guaranteed for life.
Minn Kota Windows. Windows for your world.
For lower cost, higher production, Mandaco Agri leads with versatility unmatched. Twister is the vertical tillage unit for no-till as well as conventional tillage. Twister's ease of maintenance is forgiving and rocks and has contour conformity equaling 0 downtime. Our hydraulically adjusted coulter angles make residue management easier, less costly. Spring or fall, the Mandaco Twister vertical tillage unit is the new leader. See your Mandaco Agri dealer. Visit northcountrymarketing.biz or call.
Bitter cold temperatures from Grand Forks all the way to Williston, so stay warm out there.
It'll never start. It'll start.
When the last thing you need is equipment that won't start, turn up the heat with a portable Honda generator from Home of Economy. Rugged, dependable, and quite possibly the best friend you'll ever have on the job. Pick one up today at the guaranteed lowest price, only at Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
AgweekTV weather is brought to you by Kaler Farms.
The weather portion of Agweek now. There was a great big storm that moved right through the middle part of the country last week. I actually told you about it last week, calling it an Edmund Fitzgerald-type storm. It began with snow and blizzard conditions in parts of Colorado, worked into Iowa and produced some tornadoes middle of the week, and then a lot of wind and rain through the Great Lakes before it disappeared off the eastern seaboard. It pulled down some cooler weather into the northern plains, but it wasn't really unseasonably cold. This particular storm system, classic El Nino. Now, you don't blame a storm on El Nino. It doesn't work like that. But it was the type of storm that we often get when there is a strong El Nino, because El Nino will often intensify and enhance the southern branch of the jet stream. When that gets more energetic, it tends to create, occasionally at least from time to time, bigger storms. And if those southern branch storms move up into the Midwest and northern plains, they can bring some kind of interesting weather. Well, we may see another one of those developing this week. A lot of jet stream energy coming in off the Pacific and on the southern jet, and that's going to carve out this. By early in the week, we'll see a trough of low pressure in the southern Rockies. That type of curvature out to the left out ahead of it often produces a storm system. And I think by sometime around Tuesday, Wednesday, there's going to be a fairly dramatic low developing next week down in the southern plains. Now, this week, I should say. As that low, this time it's going to stay more to the south. But I think it's going to produce a great deal of stormy weather, perhaps even an outbreak of tornadoes across portions of the south and southern Midwest. Meanwhile, some colder weather will be dropping into southern Canada, but because of the jet stream configuration, northern plains, upper Midwest, not going to get that cold. It'll be a little cooler by the end of the week as the cold weather begins to settle in as the low moves out, but I don't think it's going to be unusually or unseasonably cold at all, just a little bit colder, especially across the northern plains. So weather-wise, this week's outlook, this will be all that stormy weather in the Middle West, and there could be some localized areas of pretty substantial rain. Pacific Northwest will get wet, I think, down to about San Francisco. Northern Plains, probably not much rain or snow again in this next week. As we go to the following week, I think it's going to be fairly dry here. Another round of rain possible in the southern plains, maybe a brief shot in the Pacific Northwest, but further north, and a lot of dry weather across the northern plains. Meanwhile, there's some signs of northern parts of Brazil and South America becoming a little more hot and dry, while it looks favorably moist down in Argentina and the southern part of Brazil, because, of course, it's the high growing season down in the southern hemisphere. So El Nino signals beginning to show up. Look for more of these local extremes of weather. However, the general outcome for the northern plains and most of the upper Midwest, probably a continuation of there not being very much cold weather.
Total Ag Industries is the leader in total control. Their custom-built fertilizer systems are the crown jewel of the Total Ag lineup. Total Ag systems come with a fully customizable fill system, and the variable rate hydraulic drive system works with John Deere displays for real-time feedback and complete fertilizer monitoring. Total Ag's field-tested design allows precise control and accurate application in your fields for better yields and more profit. Contact Total Ag by phone or visit totalag.com.
The North Dakota Soybean Council invests checkoff dollars to increase soybean demand, increase yields, and open new markets. The soybean checkoff has resulted in stronger prices and higher yielding varieties. Checkoff dollars fund research to bring solutions to farmers' greatest production challenges. Global demand for North Dakota soybeans for human consumption, animal feed, and commercial use has never been greater. Checkoff dollars, investing in a profitable future for North Dakota soybean farmers.
Time to demand more. With Micro Essentials, you get more from every acre. Through our fusion technology, only Micro Essentials combines 4 vital nutrients into one powerful granule, ensuring uniform nutrient distribution and increased nutrient uptake. The innovation behind our fusion technology means you'll grow stronger, healthier plants. Micro Essentials. Get more from every acre.
Good cooking begins with great equipment, especially when it comes to everyone's favorite Scandinavian treat, lefse. At Home of Economy, you'll find the lefse tools you need at the guaranteed lowest price, because Home of Economy is your home of lefse. So stop in today or shop online at homeoflefse.com and then get rolling on that old Scandinavian tradition.
Oof, this is good lefse.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
AgweekTV, presented by Peterson Farm Seed.
Midwest farmers have been increasing their corn and bean acres for the past 20 years. But when 2 South Dakota researchers studied the insect community on 50 corn farms, they discovered something surprising. Fields with diverse crops that had fewer pest problems. As Agweek's Jonathan Knutson reports, biodiversity is extremely important to improving profitability.
There's an old saying, in diversity there is strength. Now, evidence is growing that greater crop diversity leads to stronger farm profits.
What we found is that the corn fields that had higher insect diversity actually had lower pest problems. This is really important because it has practical implications. Those farmers that are interested in reducing their insecticide needs and things along these lines, those input costs associated with them, can then institute practices that foster diversity on their farms. It gives them a powerful tool.
With the decline in diversity among crop rotations in the Midwest, what we have a concern with is how is that affecting biological communities. And this study, of course, indicated that as you look at corn production and soybean production in the Midwest, there seems to be an effect on this decision to move to less diverse crop rotation patterns on insect communities. A decline in biodiversity results in the potential for having greater pest problems. Greater pest problems, of course, result in economic losses to producers.
Some of these practices that farmers can do is reduce tillage on their operation, never leave bare soil, increase the use of things like cover crops, lengthen their crop rotations, manage field margins so that you have a lot of vegetation in those field margins. All of these tools, science has been able to link to fewer pests within agricultural systems.
Corn and soybeans are great crops, but if the experts are right, farmers should be mixing in a few other crops too. For Agweek, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
2 other recent studies also find a lack of crop diversity lowers crops' resistance to drought, disease, and insects, while increasing diversity spreads out risk, enhances soil health and yield, and reduces the need for nitrogen and herbicide. It may sound corny, but it's serious business. We'll show you what's new at South Dakota's famous Corn Palace.
How did we become the region's largest independent seed company? By taking a very simple but powerful stand. We will sell no seed that we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm. Peterson Farm Seed. Stand tall.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
My name is Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called a corn stalk guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ultimate Spray.
If you haven't been to the Corn Palace in a while, it might be worth a stop next time you're driving past Mitchell, South Dakota. The 125-year-old building has been given a facelift. It was built in 1892, so the caretakers of one of South Dakota's most popular tourist attractions thought it was time for a facelift. The green and yellow onion domes on top have been replaced by airy steel ones. A new marquee and balcony have been added. The corn murals are bigger, and the most modern touch of the $4 million renovation is dramatic new LED lighting. The Corn Palace also has an arena that draws hundreds of thousands of people a year for concerts and basketball games. The mural outside, made of corn of course, features a new theme every year. Next year's will be Rock of Ages, paying tribute to some major stars like Elvis and Willie Nelson. In case you were wondering, it will cost about $160,000 to create that mural out of corn. This week's Photo of the Week comes from Keith Johnson. He shot this while they were weaning their calves near Sharon, North Dakota. We want to see more of your pictures. Send us your best shot to photos@agweek.com. Make sure to include your name and location and let us know what you're up to in the photo. Thanks for joining us for this edition. For all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you back here next week.